yeah, getting more people to care. I've come to the same conclusion, man, is to go to people where they are, right? To where their friends are, to where their families are, to where they live, to where they work, and give them an opportunity to have the kind of conflict, that you had. I think being able to build the amount of trust that's necessary in a short amount of time is something that, not a lot of people can do, but I think that I've had a lot of practice doing it as an instructor. And so I'd like to give that a go, man. And I like that a lot of the things that I'm hearing on this pod, like not just this one, but like recently, are people reinforcing that I'm on the right track with that. What are your thoughts on it?
So I think there's two sort of avenues there. And so on the one hand, I think that you're absolutely right, that there should be places of community where people who have problematic views, who are open to being challenged on those views, can come together with people who care about them in some form of solidarity, regardless of what they say or do within reason, and like a soft place for those people to land, to hopefully eventually change their perspectives. And then there's the other side of it, which I also understand, as somebody who very openly and publicly identifies as a committed anti-fascist, that there is danger in coddling people who are projecting very dangerous views in public. And so the sort of thing, and those seem like they're in tension with one another, right? Like,
I get what you're saying, but like, I don't think that providing that space directly equals coddling, right? Like, I think it all depends on what you do with it, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, for instance, am I going to let someone come up there and say some bootstraps BS? Yeah. I'm not going to let them do it, right? Like, and so, I think it all depends, right, on what you do with the platform, right? With all these streamers and whatnot. Destiny's streaming with Nick Fuentes,
Like I see a great deal of daylight between, say, someone like Destiny and what you do, for sure. And my concern is that daylight diminishes as more and more people flood. So, for instance, if what you do is successful, which I hope that it is, there will be people who imitate it, which is ideally good, but there will also be people who imitate it for the sake of clout or money. And then those people will generally will be incentivized to create a facsimile of it that doesn't have the soul of what you're trying to do. And so I worry about not necessarily your project, which I think is admirable and should be promoted. I worry about like the spinoffs of it that could potentially be toxic if people do it in a bad way. And the kind of the attitude that I have developed on this is, if it looks like the person is acting in good faith, and kind of leave them alone. But if somebody is clearly advancing their own personal interests, then that is when you should treat them like a negative influence in the space. That's kind of where I draw the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's all stuff for me to be on the lookout for sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess I think it's kind of inevitable, like, so like, I try not to think too much about it. Like, I guess the only way to really, like, you can just confront your enemies, right? Like, that's really all you can do. So as long as I'm not, ignoring those people, when they're in actual danger, then I think it's fine. Thanks for watching. For access to the full-length conversation and all of the 2-hour-long, unedited conversations that I've had on race, click the support link in the description below. Thanks for your support, and see you next time.